now let's welcome to the stage the very funny Chris Adams. Get him on up here, Mr. Adams.
Hey, everybody. Hello. Who else just happy to be alive? Anyone else just like, I'm excited, you know what I mean? The life is good. I was drinking at the bar earlier, and I like drinking, but I don't know what people say about drinking. Where they're like, buzz driving is drunk driving. I'm like, first of all, no, it's not. Because if I'm buzzed driving next to somebody that's drunk and swerving, I'm thinking I'm getting away from you, because you're gonna get us both caught. Right? It's like Lamaze. You just focus and breathe. You're like, it's the one in the middle, guys. It's the one in the middle. You know? But if you're going to do anything and drive, I'd rather you smoke weed and drive, you know? Because you can miss an exit high. You can be like, damn, I missed that exit. I guess I'm going somewhere else now, you know? And those are the people that I want to be driving with, not people that are worried about your job. Screw your job. If you're going to be late, be late. Be a day and a half late. And then when your boss says we're worried, just say traffic, you know? I had to cut back drinking because I'm 40 now, you know, and I don't drink as much as I used to, because I used to blackout drink, which is the worst way to drink because you miss all the best parts of your night. And I'm like, I don't want to blackout drink. I want to blackout work. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know how this happened, but I just got promoted. This is amazing, you know? But I've always had to work those minimum wage jobs, and they always have weird expectations of those jobs where they expect me to care. You know? It's like, first of all, you're paying me minimum wage. You're just lucky I'm not stealing stuff in front of you, you know? Because you don't pay me enough to live, so things will go missing. That's how this is gonna work between us. But people always say the dumbest things of those jobs, like, hey, if you just try hard, you can own this place. And I'm like, I don't like being here now. Like, I'm actually trying to bring this place down from the inside. I don't know if you know. But people are the only reason those jobs suck, right? The customers, right? Because I remember I used to work at a coffee shop, and I remember just taking this lady's order, and I was like, excuse me, ma'am, what's your name? And she goes, I don't give a name. And I'm like, who hurt you? Like, I'm just trying to make your drink, lady, you know what I mean? But like I said, I'm a happy individual because I'm usually drunk. No, I'm a happy individual because I've had a lot of near-death experiences. Anyone ever have those near-death experiences? That makes you happy for a good 6 months, and you can just sail on that for a while. You know what I mean? Like, I'll give you my example. When I was born a heroin baby. And when I was born, I was 1 pound, 7 ounces. Yeah, well, I don't know that it's street value. But judging from Breaking Bad, I was worth a lot. I was like a little $1 million baby. It was awesome. You know what I mean? And that's why I don't do hardcore drugs now, because I've already had the best drug that there is, womb heroin. You know? Like, you can give me your best China White, but unless it comes from an umbilical cord, I don't want it. You know? Like, I need that placenta grade to get off, you know what I'm saying? Like the kind that Mom used to make, you know? My mom was also a prostitute. Anybody else? No, like, you gotta connect in comedy. That's how this works. You gotta try and relate to the audience. My mother was a prostitute. The good thing about having a mom that was a prostitute is that I know pricing, you know? So, there's a positive to every negative, you know what I'm saying? No, I went with her once on a date, which I don't recommend, but I guess it was take your son to work day. So, I went with her once, you know, and it was odd, you know. My mom was like, she put me in another room. She's not a monster. Well, I watched Blue Lagoon. And I remember, afterwards, after they were finished doing what they did, I don't know, whatever, I was a kid. After they finished doing what they did, this guy took me on a bumper car ride. Because some people pay for the girlfriend experience. This guy paid for the family experience. For an extra $50, I was like, Papa. I've also been to jail. Anyone else been to jail? That's an interesting experience. I'll tell you how I went to jail. I got a DUI, but I didn't get a DUI like most people were. It's like, I had a couple drinks and then got stopped at a stop and they're blowing the thing. No, I ran into a wall and my car caught fire because I get a DUI like a man. Right? I made that cop work that day. Right? I earned that DUI. And when I went to jail, I was next to a guy that was coming down off of meth. And he looked at me and he was like, hey man, everything happens for a reason. I'm like, the reason you're here is to remind me to never do meth. But jail wasn't that bad. It's a lot like camp. You just can't leave. It was fun. You talk to everybody, you get to know it. Most people are cool in jail. I don't know. I talked to this one guy and he was like, hey man, the food in this jail sucks, but if you go to the next jail over, that food is amazing. And I'm like, I'm in the same cell with a guy that Yelp reviews jails. Right? And I would give that jail food like 1 star. It was fucking terrible. That bologna was pig anus. I don't know what it was. You know what I mean? But like I said, I got to talk to everybody, and everyone's really cool. And I remember there was these 2 dudes that were in jail for the same thing. They were in jail for domestic violence. I talked to the first guy, right? And he was a nice young guy, and he offered me a job. And anyone that offers me a job is innocent. So I was like, this guy clearly didn't do what he was charged with. But then there was the other guy in jail that he goes to the phone and calls the woman that he says he didn't beat. And the first thing he says is, bitch, I'll kill you. That guy did it. We're just like, give him the jail baloney. We don't want to be near him. But I got to leave jail that night. It was interesting. It was fun. I got to take the metro home, which is how you know you're winning in life. When you take public transportation. I got to meet a Nation of Islam brother. I don't know if you ever met a Nation of Islam brother. But they always get you at your weakest, basically. They always come up to you and be like, the guy came up to me and was like, hey man, you've been to jail. And I was like, how can you tell? And he goes, your eyes. I'm like, oh, I need to make some changes. So let me tell you about the time I got away with something. You ever want to hear that story? That's a fun story. So I was partying with some friends of mine, thank you, right? And we're drinking, and I didn't want to drive, so I let my buddy drive, but he's a fucking moron. And so he hits a fire hydrant, so I'm like, ah, shit, and he runs, right? So I'm left with the fucking car. It's my car, by the way, and there's booze. And so the cop comes up to me and says, if you run, I'm going to beat you so hard, you're going to wish that you were never born. And I said, look, officer, I just hit a fire hydrant. There's 100 feet of water spurting up in the air, and I have open alcohol in the car. I already wish I was never born. But I was saved by one thing. I looked at the cop straight in the eye and I said, sir, will this affect my military service? And I got away with it. I learned that if you're ever pulled over for anything, just say, will this affect my military service? And you're going to get away with it too, because we have to support our troops. No matter how illegal the activity is that they do, because they're fighting for your freedoms to get drunk and hit fire hydrants. And that's why this country's the greatest. My name is Chris Adams. You have been wonderful. Peace.